Me, Sarah Burns and The Invisibles. And so we're going to be exploring transitioning my live transmissions to my house, which has a little slower reception. So tell me if anything's glitching out. So, we've got Lady Rochelle says, thank you for your reading last week. It was exactly right on. I'm interested in relationship reading if you have a chance. All right, wonderful. So how this works is it's an opportunity to ask a question to yourself, humanity, or the planet. And the Invisibles are a group of spirit mentors that I work with and that have been supporting me since a little girl, kind of my own little invisible crew. So what I'm going to do is just going to set the space, and then I usually start with getting into my own question that I pose. And then as questions arrive in the feed, we'll get to those as well. So just allowing yourself to just settle in wherever you find yourself on this planet, that very specific acupuncture point that you are for this beautiful grid, and just honoring the great beneath. So honoring the planet and her foundation, her structures, her capacity to hold and create, to nourish, and to also receive, to digest and compost the excess in this life. Thank you, Pachamama. Thank you, Great Beneath, for holding us for this council. Great Beyond, celestial realms, unseen allies, bodhisattvas, enlightened teachers, ancestors, the eagle eye perspective on life that brings forth that expansiveness so that we may see the pathways or the many pathways before us and choose accordingly. Thank you, Great Beyond, for being of support. Then the last place, the last anchoring place, you can put your hands on your heart if you want, is just you. And thanking you and your great within, your stories, your dreams, your memories, all that you desire, your aspirations, your sorrows, and your joys. So knowing that you're great within, that which makes you you, is so welcome here today. And we're here to be of service. Also setting the intention that all beings that come here today are able to receive some form of guidance or inspiration through these transmissions that can aid in being of service to yourself, to the planet, to humanity, and just helping shift if there's any patterns that are interfering with that sense of clarity and that sense of purpose or direction, whether it's physically. Just as I said that, a woodpecker just flew onto my, I wonder if I can show you. See him out there? It's just on that wood. The woodpecker, the flicker is really about getting into it, getting into the deeps, and being able to take it forth from that which feels like it may be dead, that there may be life force, there may be something in the center. So may that medicine that just came here bring forth the guidance on how to get into those parts of ourselves that have something really vital that's wanting to be expressed and explored. So that being said, just ringing this bell and bringing us into presence. So we're approaching the equinox. We're approaching this time of harvest, this time of fall, as we enter into fall, as the seasons are shifting and transforming, as that which we've sown, the seeds that we've sown, the intentions we've sown are coming to the time of collecting and harvesting and being able to receive the benefit and of these growths that we've been tending to. And also it's a great time of exploring, perhaps there were seeds that you sowed in your life, in your relationships, in how you wish to go about this last year that feel complete, that feel like perhaps that was the last time you're going to be putting energy in that way. And so it's a time of honoring those cycles that you've explored and that you've experienced. So my question that I have today, hi Lisa, who says, hi, how are you? I'm feeling great. I just had a friend over with her little baby and been processing a lot of food. It feels like for weeks. So my question for the Invisibles is if they have any guidance or inspiration that can support people that are just to maximize this equinox, maximize this time of harvest. And if there's any guidance on how to really utilize this time well and wisely. That's my question. It isn't how you perceive the growth that represents how much you've grown. It's your experience of feeling fortified at the end of any cycle. Whether or not the sense of accomplishment is an external one, but if you internally feel satisfied at what you've brought to the table this year, at how you've shown up for life, whether or not what you're showing up for has the same kind of tangible results, knowing that you have made yourself available to life. And it's that availability that is so valuable. And so when you're exploring the theme of how can you harvest? How can you utilize what you've created or what has grown from the seeds you've sown? The relationships that have found deeper roots in your life, or possibly the relationships that have blown away in the wind or have had their cycle, had their season, that may require a lot more focus and patience and deliberate attention. We want you to sit in these times of harvest and listen to what are the needs that you have in the future that you can fathom now. When you're harvesting, when you're skimming the cream from the surface of your time, of these last seasons of yourself. Deciding what is going to be needed to fuel you through these winter months. And then focusing on those relationships that really have a sense of fulfillment and nourishing. That winter that will be coming is a time of going inwards, but it's also a time of fortifying yourself with the subtleties of life. Softening the ripples that you create. So for anyone watching, we want you to just enjoy the experiences and the story that you find yourself in. Because it is a result of many prayers. It is a result of many hours of presence. And if there is something that you are finding is not fulfilling or nourishing you, explore the root of why you continue to feed that or to welcome that into your life. Is it pattern? Is it wanting to feel accomplished? Is a sense of obligation? And now is a time that there is a little more freedom and flexibility regarding your choice to cease taking in that which does not serve you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So let's see, is Leah Rochelle here? Or Leah? I'm going to post your question. She says, I'm interested in a relationship reading if you have. Oh, hi, Fia. Hi, Fia. Oh, you are here. Fantastic. All right, so this is for Leah. Okay. Are you currently in a relationship, or are you desiring to cultivate a relationship? Because something, while I'm waiting for that answer, the first thing I was seeing, and I want to figure out how to phrase it that makes most sense to you, but I just saw this image of this crabapple tree. And for me, crabapple trees kind of represent this like really resilient tree. Dating a couple different people. Okay. It's like the image I'm seeing is like that there's this crabapple tree, and it kind of for me represents this like really resilient tree that seems to survive all odds. There's something really strong about the crabapple, but the apples themselves they don't have that same kind of sweetness, or that, in my experience, I don't bite into a crabapple and be like, oh wow, this is just decadent. That there's something about almost the potency of those apples are like they taste like that resilience. They taste like that strength, and so I'm curious in regards to your relationship, how that's symbolizing, almost like how, like the image though I have is like with crab apples though, to be able to be nourished by them, to be able to digest them and feel fulfilled eating them. Usually there's a bunch of preparation involved, right? There's like, you want to cut them, you want to sweeten them, you want to put them in pies. And so I'm curious how that might relate to the relationships dynamics that you're experiencing now, on what you're given, or what's available right now may come with some like tartness. It may come with this maybe not quite the same sense of, I don't even know if this is the right direction, but what is it? How are you making the most, or how are you learning how to adapt with the circumstances you're given so that they are actually nourishing to you? If that's something you want to do, like, let's see what the Invisibles have to say. But I was kind of, that might have gone right over everyone's head, but I'm just seeing these crab apples. All right, let's see. So what we're seeing is, yes, we showed this crab apple, right? But something that we also see the crab apple as is it's a symbol of something that is authentic, that hasn't been bred. That crab apples actually go back, in many places, are a native species, right? That they are an older species of apple. That many apples these days have gone through some form of transformation, whether it's breeding, whether it's just over time developing them to the places they are at now. And so to go to this crab apple is to understand what in the relationship is needing to be appreciated for the qualities of its resilience, but also for the qualities of its authentic expression. The other plant that we see oh, they're kind of popping out. They show me this plum tree, and I mean, if you're dating a few people, I wonder if there's a different. But the plum tree was also this. It's like there's these two fruits I'm seeing. So there's this crab apple that's also really resilient and is able to store well, and then there's these plums. And because I have a plum tree where I live, I've been learning a lot more about plums. Is that plums have that quality of being able to like produce a lot. Like there's a lot of energy. They just can be laden with plums really quickly. And then it's this process of, you know, they don't last very long, and then they all starting falling, and there's rotting plums everywhere, and it's like, how do I deal with all these plums all at once? And so maybe that's something to explore, is like with these two different qualities, or maybe these are qualities of your own desires, but there's one that represents this desire to have something that's a little more sturdy or has more longevity in it, but isn't necessarily going to give you that same kind of like sweetness and like that feeling of the plum season where it's like, boom, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of output, there's the abundance is really quick and needs to be enjoyed or explored like with when it's available. Whereas the other one is something that needs you to actually kind of put more time into to. I'm not sure if this is going anywhere, but that's something for you to explore with these relationships, and also with how you're approaching them. Is, do you have the time and space to put energy into this crab tree, right? Into making these fruits nourishing for yourself and for others. And then do you have the time? Are you ready to understand this cycle with the plum tree, with the cycle of, you know, there isn't going to always be this big outpour that gives you that feeling of satisfaction, of gratification, that there can be these cycles where you need to appreciate it when it's available. So that's a little bit that I was seeing for you, my dear. All right, thank you. So the next question we have is from Althea here. And she says, oh, you're welcome, Leah. She says, hi, Sarah. Great to see you. I want to know where I am in my work and to see if there should be a shift of focus on other things. Is there bigger things I'm missing and should be focused on? So the first thing that I saw for you was that sometimes the bigger thing that needs to be focused on is creating that space for yourself, creating that. I think maybe we've talked about this for you. Like I'm seeing this image of like you having this like special little, like really what I'm seeing is I see you like having this like secret little door that like leads to something, or leads to a sanctuary for yourself, or leads to this space that you can create in. And the creating feels really useful when I connect with it. But it makes me think that what can be really important for you right now is that to balance out the work, to balance out whatever you're committed to right now, is what's really important is you finding ways of like creating or carving out space, or even quite physically, like a little nook or something. You already have that, like a little nook that's like your nook. This is your little zone. Because part of, like, how do I describe it? They want to speak. Your wonder is what creates wonders. So in this time of accepting the choices you've made, accepting the outcomes, accepting the rhythms that you're part in, it's also important to digest the experiences that you've had that have given you that sense of wonder, that sense of awe, that sense of purpose, that sense of blooming. Not just seeing the blooming nature of life around you, but feeling it. feeling that life force moving through you, feeling the outcome of that bloom. And so for you, something that you can explore is, how do you create space to taste those qualities and create that sacred container that allows you to put time into, whether it's writing or art, and doing it in a way that brings you a sense of what there was once, so that was one speaking, then I heard the background one being like, giggle juice. But like this sense of like this playfulness, and I don't know if there's, because what they're, oh, my daughter is here. Hi, Lola. Do you want to come on Ask the Invisibles for a moment? What's up? Yeah. With your headphones. She's doing it again. No. We're trying out Ask the Invisibles at home because her school has changed to a different date. Okay. Sorry, let me. Hi, Thea. So something that I was seeing was, let me just get back to it. It's almost like that there's ways of creating the space inside your own rhythms and routines that will give you that sense of like that sense of wonder, that sense of excitement, that, oh, she says, I love it. Also very timely. Kids are part of our lives. I know. Because what I'm seeing that's most important for you is just, it's like this feeling of like maintaining and there's not as much, like, I'm not seeing the same kind of like seeking that's needed right now, to be honest. Like sometimes there's cycles where it's really important to like go out there and like seek, but it feels like for you to just balance for your life right now is just maintaining this and creating space within all that you've already cultivated for yourself for, yeah, like these more playful times. And I'm also saw something about like, I don't know if you go dancing ever or if there's like a dance community. I know for me that's really important, but I was kind of seeing you just like getting in your body, maybe having little dance parties, but you just kind of getting in your body and just getting excited, and like this feeling of like, yeah, they're calling it like giggle juice, like this, just like getting playful, and that frequency that you hold when you can anchor those emotions, when you can bring more playfulness in your life, you can bring more joy, you can bring more silliness. It actually ripples out into different areas of your life. So it can ripple out into the relationships, into your work dynamics, and then it can also open space for new opportunities coming your way. So that's kind of what I see as like your something to do right now. There's no big, I'm not seeing any big like red alarms right now in the form of work, even though it may not be as like fulfilling or nourishing. But yeah, it's for you, my dear. All right. So moving on, we've got Lisa. And so Lisa says, I would love to ask the Invisibles on what I need to know to get my light body to where it should be to honor and help the collective. You're so welcome, Fia. To honor and help the collective get where we all need to be. Nice. To be honest, the first thing I saw was connected with like, it was a very like physical thing. I was seeing like this image of like oranges, and perhaps even just having more vitamin C in your body could help you. I do associate vitamin C with like the light body, like that vitamin C and how when people are doing vitamin C therapy, it really does, for me, it feels like the vitamin C is this like a luminous quality, this luminous light that kind of like when you're doing vitamin C therapy, it just like comes through your system and is like oxygenating it and bringing, I don't know if that's quite clear, but so for you, yeah, it's like I just keep seeing, like, they show me this image of you and your body and how in actually, it's like in working with your body, in becoming more comfortable with your own internal system, with this very physical form that we've been given, that it actually can help. Like what I'm seeing is almost this image of like some leaks potentially, like in your auric field, and there's one, like if you're staring face out, it's to your right, a little bit above. Like it feels like there's just some aspects of your auric field that could be fortified a little bit more. And that one way of doing that is actually, so if it's, I'm just visualizing, that'd be probably your, maybe this, your right side, your right hemisphere of your brain. But that working on things that are going to kind of help with your, yeah, I'm just seeing like things like, it's like brain food, like things that like feed your brain, and like this vitamin C, taking a bunch of vitamin C, and just exploring in your own time too, if you want to explore the regions of your auric field, because I know the astral, the light body, is different than the auric field, but somehow they're showing me the importance of focusing on your auric field and your physical body as helping, almost helping your light body be able to feel confident and grounded in like having this like home, this like safe anchoring point. And let's see if there's any more in that question. Yeah, I just keep seeing like you bringing your attention into your physical body is a way of directly strengthening your light body and affecting the collective, and that using your physical body as, you know, a microcosm of the collective too, is one way that you can do that without getting too wrapped up in it. It can get really overwhelming. Feel like I represent the collective and like, oh my gosh, what am I going to take on? But as you're working on your collective, as you're working on your body, as you're taking like vitamin C or doing more like for me, Kundalini, to be honest, Kundalini is a kind of yoga practice that I find really effective it's like a yoga practice for the body and the light body is what I find. And that's been the most effective tool for me to kind of find where I'm weak and where I'm not able to hold certain energy that wants to move through my body. Is usually Kundalini yoga is a fantastic way of witnessing that, because I can see, oh, this channel here, the Shushudna, or this channel is actually overwhelmed by this amount of energy moving through it. Okay, so I'm going to slow down a bit, but I'm going to acknowledge that I'm not actually capable of holding as much energy or as much voltage of energy that I would like to be able to hold, to be able to do more healing work or be more replenished. So does that make sense? So those are two things that you could explore, is Kundalini yoga and vitamin C therapy. Yum. Thank you. So everyone, I don't have any questions left. So if there's no more questions, I'm just going to close. Let's see. And if there's anyone watching that has a question, hey, Reed, my husband just walked in. Maybe he has a question. Oh, you're so welcome, Lisa. Do you have a question for the Invisibles, Reed?
Nothing pops into my mind right now.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to honor everyone that's shown up. in the past and in the future. Thank you for being present with these transmissions and these sessions, and blessings to you in integrating all these teachings and all that you wish to bring forth in this life through your body and through your dreams and your aspirations. Thanking the great beyond, the unseen allies. Once again, you rock. Come on. Thank you, planet Earth. And thank you, beautiful great within. Aloha.